So first of all, I would like to express my sincere condolences to the families, the friends, and the loved ones of those who were killed in the tragic plane crash yesterday. This includes 63 Canadians and citizens from many other countries, including the United Kingdom. This is a heartbreaking tragedy. Since yesterday, I have spoken to many of my colleagues to gather more information and seek clarification. This includes my Ukrainian counterpart, my Italian counterpart, and late last night, my Iranian counterpart, with whom I had an important discussion. Minister Zarif demonstrated an openness to providing access to Canadian officials, to provide consular services, to help with the identification of the victims, and to assist with the ongoing investigation. Of course, Dominic and I discussed this tragedy this afternoon, and I express my deepest condolences to him as well. I am sure that, as many of you have heard, what the Prime Minister shared today with Canadians. We have intelligence from multiple sources, including our allies and our own intelligence, that indicates that the plane was shot down by an Iranian surface-to-air missile. This may well have been unintentional. And this new information reinforces the need for a thorough investigation of this matter. As the Prime Minister said today, Canadians have questions, and they deserve answers. I would add to that that the world has questions, and that the world expects answers. And Canada will seek those responsible to provide those answers.
And obviously, the first thing I need to do is to offer my condolences to the people of Canada, and particularly the families as they grieve for those who died tragically in yesterday's Ukrainian International Airlines crash, as well, of course, as the UK victims and indeed the families of all of those who perished. We mourn their loss, and our thoughts are with all of their families and their loved ones at such a difficult time. Merci à Francois-Philippe pour votre accueil chaleureux. C'est un plaisir d'être de retour au Canada. Je voudrais présenter mes condoléances aux Canadiens en deuil de ceux qui sont tragiquement décédés dans l'écrasement du vol de Ukrainian International Airlines hier. Nous pleurons leur perte et nos pensées accompagnent toutes les familles et les proches des victimes en cette période difficile. We agree with the Canadian assessment that indicates that Ukrainian International Airlines flight was shot down by an Iranian surface-to-air missile, and as Francois-Philippe said, it may well have been unintentional. Our view on the crash underlines why we urgently now need an independent, full and transparent investigation to establish what caused it. The Iranian regime must open up to the international community, including access to the crash site, so we can get the truth as quickly as possible to give the families of the victims an understanding of what happened to their loved ones. The families of the victims deserve to know the truth. And we say that whether they're Canadian families, British families, Ukrainian families, Swedish, German, Afghan. And let us not forget the Iranian families, because they've suffered the greatest loss of life in this terrible incident, and they deserve to know the truth too. I think if I were mourning a loved one today, I want to know what had happened, why it had happened, and who was responsible. And I think an investigation must answer those three questions.
And Canada will seek answers to these questions. Canada will seek answer to these questions. With our allies, with the international community, the world want to know. And certainly Canadians and Canada will seek answers to these questions. As you would expect in a situation like that, it is very dynamic and fluid. When I spoke to him yesterday, I did not have the information that came through intelligence services at different point of time, as you would expect. This is a very dynamic situation. We had, as you know, a number of meetings with the Prime Minister, discussions as things were unfolding. We work on the basis of facts. So yesterday when I did call the Iranian foreign minister, I did not have that fact established. So we focused yesterday on what was the critical element that we need, which is access, obviously, to the site. In order to get access to the site, we need visas for our quick reaction team. And I also made the case that we needed to participate in the investigation. And also, I told them in very clear terms that we were condemning the missile attack on our coalition forces, on NATO forces, because I reminded him in a very candid way that we are there because we want to help the Iraqi people. The Iraqi people want stability, and stability only comes with security. And when you have, obviously, security, stability comes prosperity. They are going through very important economic and democratic reform. I did speak, as you may have seen in the readout, with the Speaker of Parliament. I did speak with the Foreign Minister in Iraq, and both have told me that the people of Iraq, they want these reforms to be carried through. And the best way to do that is obviously having the international community, the coalition, the NATO forces being there so that we can help them achieve what the Iraqi people so well deserve. Well, I assume you're asking me the question, so let me provide an answer, and I mean Dominic may want to add with his own experience. Obviously, the first communication we had with the state of Iran was yesterday night. As you know, around midnight, I did call my counterpart in Iran. I made the case that Canada had the legitimate need to access. We want to send our quick reaction team, obviously, on the ground to be able to provide consular services. I did stress that Canadians and Canada has a legitimate need and concern with respect to the investigation, that we wanted to bring Canada's expertise and Canada's commitment to be an active participant in the investigation. And I would say that the response by the Iranian government or the Iranian foreign minister was open, was encouraging. Now, we are pursuing at the officials level because Canadians should understand that the first step is obviously, since Canada does not have a presence in Iran, the first step is for us to obtain visas so our quick reaction team can be on the ground to provide consular services, to be able, obviously, to work with families and loved ones to provide the answers that they deserve. So step one is obviously getting the visa, and I can tell you today, following the discussion I had yesterday, that we had officials engaged, and at the officials level, what I can report to Canadians is that it seems that the discussion of yesterday was followed up, that the officials have received indication that they can go forward with the issuance of the visas. We are following that, I would say, minute by minute or hour by hour, and we will be providing all the information to Canadians. As soon as I have news, we will make sure that Canadians know exactly where we are. This is step one, getting access in the country for our quick reaction team, and obviously being able to participate in the investigation.